Good morning. So peaches are about ready, probably a few weeks away. So what happens is like when they're starting to get ready, they'll start dropping the smaller ones. So we just had a little bit of a drought. So you'll get stuff like this, which those are the peaches that won't ripen. So it kind of self-shed. So this isn't irrigated, these peaches. And I'm not in full sun, get a lot of shade, a lot of competition. So, but probably got, I'd say close to 50, 60 peaches. If I counted, maybe there might be more. So peach season. Yeah, see, so like right here's a loss of 2. So if I irrigated, gave a little more sun, it would probably do about double the yields, my estimation, or triple. So if it was in full sun and irrigated during droughts, which peaches in Florida ripen right during drought season. So they're a good tree, they produce well, but okay, problems with peaches. They're ripening right during the dry season. So to get a great crop, you're going to have to irrigate at least for maximum production, I would say every 3 days. So when there's no rain, I would say at least every 3 days to 2 days some water. Now I gave these guys a little bit before we had a rain, but it was a little too late. You see, like right here, this branch has no peaches. So normally you should have at least 1 or 2 per branch, kind of like that. See, like 2 on, there's 3. So really, I should probably thin, but that's fine. They'll just be a little bit smaller peaches. So like 2 or 3 is 1, 2 or 3. But like that branch lost all of them from the drought, I would assume. And I've already thinned a lot, so you're kind of seeing post. So like this one, you know, this has 2 peaches on this branch. And normally I should probably have like 3 or 4. Okay, so 2. Okay, so like they have lots of dying branches. So I prune this, and that's a self shed because of the shade. I actually thinned this cherry laurel plum a few times. So I've brought up the canopy. But before that, it shaded out this branch. So it kind of started dying. This space was taken up by a branch. And as you can see, it's starting to rot, which might end up keep going down the tree. So, yeah, just different things. They're not a great. They have a lot of branches dry up and die like that. So you just come in and clean with the little pruners. But they're good. They produce a lot. The one problem is the squirrels love them. Love them. I'm talking, that's like #1 food. Like the loquats, they'll take out the loquats too. But normally I'll get loquats. So as loquats are ending, peaches are coming in. So it's a good supplementary crop. Now what I would probably do is, if I could do this again, would be plant the peaches here. So in more of the full sun, and then the loquat in a little more of the shade. And it'd also be a better airflow for for everything, because those go deciduous for a few months a year. So they won't block this during ripening season. So like if I were gonna do it I would put the peaches on the north side and then the loquat on the south side. But then, because you're looking at the sun, so the sun's here right now. It's gonna go up and set about there. So in the winter time, the horizon comes here and goes down there. So the loquat would love that winter sun. And these guys really need, like an apple, like if you were gonna think it out, apple would be best on the north side because they're ripening the latest in the season. Or you need the sun on the north, not blocking from the north. These guys ripen right now, sun's kind of like directly overhead, you know. So just things to think about. This was like a 2-in-1 planting, but this nectaring never took off. So it kind of got swallowed up by this peach. I think this is, so it's either a Florida Prince, Florida, I think that's the one's a Florida King. This might be a Tropic Beauty or a Tropic Snow or something. I'm not quite sure. So if I could do it, I would make sure to have like an early and a late season peach. Sorry about that sunlight. Just some ideas. So there's a white sapote. So that ripens in the summer too. So eventually this cherry laurel, I hope to take some branches out. I might take it out soon before it gets a little too much to deal with without crashing down on the white sapote. Well, we'll make this a 10-minute video. So I got the lychees flowering right now. So here's the lychee. This one's normally covered in pollinators, so the flowers might be done. Yeah, see, it's got a little fruit on it. So I can kind of tell the flowers are about done based on I'm seeing fruit form. And then the longan is just starting to flower. They're just starting to pop. So the lychees are about a month ahead of the longans, which here, we don't really get too many late freezes. The longan would be a little bit better because it's going to avoid any late freeze with the flowers, versus this guy might hit a late frost. But both, I would say, can be done in North Florida, Jacksonville, or by the coast in Jacksonville. At least East Coast. I don't know. West Coast is a little different. Here's like a dead peach. So it's kind of self-prune. So like here it had 3, but it said no, can't do that one. So, and you're supposed to do like 1. I'll do 2. I don't really care too much. See, self-prune. That had 3. So it's kind of smart. It knows. Sometimes they don't know. See that on my parent, like this one, that one. Sorry, I do the. So that won't really mature. It's just gonna kind of waste energy. So anyways, peaches in Jacksonville. If I could do it over, one thing you can do is they'll grow very, very vigorous. This tree was actually bigger when it was younger, and I kind of trained the branches so it actually took some vigor away, but it wants to go straight up. So you gotta bend and train the branches when they're young, and then you kind of get a base to work on, you know. So then, like, okay, here's a new young branch coming out. So like the top ones after it fruits, like I'll cut this branch back to here, because after it fruits, then I'm gonna want to reset it, bring it back down a few feet. So like in June, I'll come and I'll do some cuts to bring the canopy down, so I get some new flush on the lower growth. Because right now the lower growth is not putting out too much because it's too much shade. So but this is picking height for me. I'm pretty tall. So, okay, made a 10-minute video. Oh, right now, got the lubers. I'll see them on branches, but I don't ever see them eating much. I know this is pokeweed, so they might not want to eat the pokeweed, but so loquat. What else? Oh, persimmon flower. This is my first year I'll get fuyus. Hopefully they set. So the fuyu is flowering. And the fire crystal, I haven't seen any flowers on it yet. But I don't know its schedule. It might be later at flowering. It looks like that graph took. So, yeah, like for example, with the training, this one keeps growing up. So, nurseryman in Tallahassee, John, told, like, I saw some videos he did. He said, instead of pruning them, if you can, train them when they're young. So instead of like pruning the top growth, take advantage of that top growth and then try to lean them down with, training methods. So limb training, kind of like, slowly bend those branches down. And then that way, you're kind of not wasting growth. You're taking advantage of the growth. I thought that was pretty smart. So, like they'll tell you to trim the tree. But if you don't mind training them, try to bend the branches, and then you have more horizontal growth early. So, I don't know. I thought that was good. If you got time, I just took some concrete blocks, and this one needs to come down just a little bit. But okay, peaches in Jacksonville, and this is mid-April, so they'll be ready at the beginning of May. Probably 2 weeks, I would assume they would stop ripening. So just some thoughts on peaches in Florida and some other things. Okay.